Hi everyone, it's Michelle with Country Morning Creations, and I'm back again with another tutorial for the 12 Days of Junk Journal Gifts tutorials. That was kind of a mouthful. Anyway, I'm back today with a fabric scrap journal card. Now, this was put out, and I'm not exactly sure what was meant by that. Was I supposed to create a journal card that had fabric scraps on it? Or was I supposed to create something that held fabric scraps? So I'm going with something that was supposed to hold fabric scraps, not just a, maybe a card that's made with scraps of fabric. Anyway, we'll get to cluster embellishments later. We're not on that yet. So what I've done, again, I have I've printed out from the printable Cheery Pastels, and it's by Linda Israel and Norella Bouchard of Calico Collage, excuse me. Calico Corner's a different store. Anyway, this I've printed out just on some manila cardstock, so it's a little bit heavier than regular paper. And I'm going to cut it down to 4 inches for this project. Moving all my fabric out of the way, we'll get to that in a minute. So I'm going to cut this down to 4 inches, and we're going to use this piece here for 4 inches. Now, one of the things I want to do is I want to have a little piece that flips up at the bottom that's maybe about 1 inch long. And I am going to, if I can grab a bone folder, I'm going to find one. I have several as I dig around for them. And I'm just going to use a bone folder and really press that down. And then I'm going to take the top, because I want that to tuck inside of this. So it will be just a small piece. It looks like this card's going to end up being about 4 by 4. And inside of this then, so this works kind of like a matchbook or a matchsticks, but it's bigger. So now we need to cut down some pieces of fabric, and I have all kinds of fabric that will work in this situation. And I'm going to use my pinking shears. So pinking shears are zigzag scissors. They just have this nice zigzag to them. What that does is that helps prevent fraying like this on all of your fabric. So I'm just going to start laying some of this fabric out and cutting it about the right width. And don't worry too much about getting it perfect, because again, remember, these are fabric scraps that could be used in maybe to add layering, collaging, any of that sort of thing. So they don't have to be real perfect. Oh, there you go. Now I've made a real mess. Move that off. So there's a piece, and of course these pieces can be folded over. These are some great pieces that were bonus pieces that were given to me when I ordered some stuff. I can't remember who I ordered it from, but I thought the yellow goes great with some of the yellow pieces. So I'm going to cut these in half as well. And we'll just leave these long. And the idea then is to layer up several different pieces of fabric that you can use, someone could possibly use for a variety of different things. Like this is even leftover fabric. This is the leftover, what is this called? Watermark taffeta that I used to make my curtains with. So I even have some of this left over. So I'm going to cut some of this out and even add this, because I think black will look nice with all the different things that we've been using so far. And yeah, it's a kind of fancy fabric, but that's okay. And then I also have this real pretty butterfly fabric. I had students that made aprons a few years ago, and this was a leftover apron, not really made well. It was made by a middle schooler, but the fabric is great. So instead of just tossing out their apron, I thought, this would look great even as a cover on a junk journal. So I am going to go ahead And actually, I think I'm going to cut it out of this top part. So you can see that, you know, not bad for a middle schooler, but not great either. And I think I'm just going to cut, we'll go this way and cut just a section of this out. And I will go ahead and cut that hemmed part off as well. So I'm going to cut this part off as well that got sewn and sewn and sewn and sewn and still didn't quite figure out what they were supposed to be doing, and that's okay. So there's a nice little piece with butterflies in it. I really like all of that. Then I also want to include bits of lace and other things in this. So I'm going to cut off a strip of this. This is really gorgeous. This is from Hobby Lobby. And I even got it on sale for 99 cents. Yay! And this is another piece of lace that I got that is really pretty. This is another thing that I got on clearance. I got this one for 49 cents. Which is really awesome. So I think we'll just throw some of this lace in there as well. Oop, didn't mean to hit that. And I have a leftover piece of that pink lace. I have some black ribbon. And this is kind of cool. My daughter, this is leftovers from my daughter. And this actually, you peel this back off and this lace will stick to things, at least in theory. I would probably use glue again. So we're going to throw some of that on here as well. So now I've got all these little pieces that I'm going to try to fit in here. So let's start kind of folding things and seeing if we can't get them to layer and fit. So for example, this does not need to have the whole thing fit in there. I'm just going to put a piece like that, and you know, maybe we'll fold them over so that we'll put a couple of pieces together and then fold them over the top of things. So let's get, let's make it look pretty. We're going to put that in, and then we're going to put this scrap in. And then we're going to put this scrap over here, I think. Let's pull that one in a little bit more. We'll put this scrap over here, and then we're going to put the butterflies on the very top. And then we'll just fold these all over. Now, a lot of people, maybe we'll fold them backwards. There we go. So a lot of people would probably not fold these over because of the way that they're going to put these in here. But I'm going to keep this rather simple and not worry so much about sewing all of this together, in other words. And believe it or not, this is really cool. This is actually a piece from a pizza crust I used to get. They came wrapped with this grosgrain ribbon, which I love, black grosgrain ribbon. So let's see if we can, we may have to fold this up like this to get this to fit. And then let's try to fit some of this lace over the lace. So we've got lace and we've got more lace. Ooh, that lace isn't going to work. We'll leave that one out. So what my thought was to kind of keep this rather simple, and maybe let's fold this a little bit differently so that you can see more of the different pieces that are in here. Well, there's a part of me that says just leave it and don't worry about it, and there's a part of me that's starting to go, no, I really want to futz with this. So I think I'm going to futz with it a little bit. So I'm going to put that one down like that, because I want you to be able to see these when you open them. And then this one needs to get folded over here, and this needs to get folded in half and put over here, and then this needs to get folded in half and put over here, and then behind all of these I'm going to put the piece with the butterflies. Just make that a little bit shorter. And then we have all of these. So it'll be easy to pick through these as well. And let's put that one there. Let's put this one here. And these last two pieces can also go in here. I'm going to fold this one up, triple fold this as well. And all I'm going to do now to keep all of this into the card, I originally was going to sew this or stitch this, but one of the things I love, I think these are actually by Tim Holtz, are these just little clips. And so my thought is to put two clips on one side and one on the other, and then when we fold this up, now you've got little bits of fabric sticking out, and I think that is fine. And this covers this up, and then of course you know I have to put a Velcro dot on it, right? Because Velcro dots are awesome in my mind, and I love these things, and they're kind of clear. So let's put a Velcro dot on this so that it will close up. And let's see, there's a piece I will peel off. So if you remember, we're going to make it so that this all sticks together. And we'll put that Velcro there. And then we just fold this up over the top of everything. Oops, it's sticking to my finger and not to the... Oh, that's because that already stuck. All right, let's see if I can get this to stick right. There we go. So now you have your two Velcro pieces. Oops, why is this not working? Oh, you know what? These may go to two different Velcro things. Let me take that piece off, and let's put this piece on it, because this is actually the piece that we need to go with it. That was the problem. I had two of the same ends. So we're going to take that, and we're going to hopefully stick all of this down together. There we go. Now I have my Velcro. So what you can see is I have simply, this is kind of easy, and I think it's kind of cute. You could also just use paper clips. You could also sew this if you wanted to. And then in order to get this out, instead of having to take all of these pieces out, you can simply open this up and take your two top pieces off, and then it's easier to access everything. And that's one of the things that I like about doing it this way instead of sewing everything in there, which I've seen a lot of people do, and I'm not saying they're wrong, I'm just saying that the way I would rather see this done is that everything is just folded nicely in here. We fold this down, and we're just going to put the clips back on it. And then this Velcro piece down here will keep everything else in it. And there you have a fabric scrap journaling card. And honestly, because this is blank on the inside, somebody could even write on this and use this piece to write on or use it for something else later on. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed my fabric scrap journaling card tutorial. I hope that you have seen something that inspires you to be creative today.